Hi, it's me, Pastor Connie. I'm glad that you're here again. Are you ready for another great discussion? Wonderful. Let's get started. We are continuing our summer-fall series by looking at the lives of each original disciple who became Jesus's apostolic messengers to the world. By exploring their individual lives, we can better understand their journeys as they spread the way, also known as the good news of Jesus, to their known world. Check out all our free discussions in the description box below. We have recently discussed stories concerning the disciple apostles, their lineages, their identities, and how they brought Christianity to various corners of the known Roman world. These stories are a mixture of folklore, local legends, hagiographies, and most importantly, apocrypha. We learned that hagiographies are simply biographies about an apostle or a saint. And the word apocrypha just means unknown author or authors' written works. While these resources are historical, we should always take them with a grain of salt because, recollections can vary. Yet they should be considered when doing any in-depth biblical study because there could be a certain amount of truth in them. And that's where you come in. It's up to you to decide what you do believe and what you don't believe. This week, we're going to look at another disciple apostle who didn't appear to travel far from Jerusalem. Was he considered less than the others because he didn't travel to far-off places? Or did he just quietly go about the mission Jesus entrusted to him? I'll let you decide that for yourself as we take a look at James, son of Alphaeus, better known as James the Less. Many controversies surround the lineage of the disciple apostle James, son of Alphaeus. Who was he? And where did he come from? Well, James the Less is only mentioned 4 times in the New Testament, and each time it's in connection with either his mother or on the list of apostles. We're never told exactly if he had brothers or other siblings, but it is believed that James, son of Alphaeus, was one of 4 cousins of Jesus. Now, these 4 cousins were James, Jude, Simon, and Joseph. And they were all brothers, whose father was Alphaeus Thaddeus, and whose mother was named Mary. Now, many believe that Alphaeus Thaddeus was the brother of Joseph, Jesus' earthly father, while Mary, Alphaeus' wife, was the cousin of Jesus' mother, Mary. So the story goes that James the Less and Jude Thaddeus became Jesus' disciples and eventually his apostles, while the other two cousins, Simon and Joseph, became Jesus' disciples or students, but not apostles. Are you confused? Well, I bet you are, because when you really think about it, it's probably pretty simple. What better way to start your ministry than with trusted family members? Anyway, since there was already another James, the son of Zebediah, in the disciple group, it made sense to identify these two James through their fathers' names, or better still, by simply calling them James the Great, who was the son of Zebediah, and James the Less, who was son of Alphaeus. Now, many scholars have questioned whether this James was actually the brother of Jesus. And there are many good reasons which support the concept that these two James are the same person. However, there are also scholars who believe that this James could also be the brother of Levi, also known as Matthew the tax collector, who was also the son of Alphaeus. Was James the Less actually the brother of Levi Matthew, since both are sons of fathers named Alphaeus? Well, that's a good question. You have to figure that one out for yourself. But you got to remember, when studying the Bible, you have to be careful jumping to the conclusion that this James was a sibling of Jesus or even Matthew based on simple word usage. According to Semitic custom, the descriptive term brother or even perhaps sister may be inferring that this person indeed was a cousin or some other relative, but not an actual brother or sister. James the Less was the first bishop of Jerusalem. I should mention it, it's the church, and one of the pillars of the early Jerusalem church, as stated by the Apostle Paul's letter to the Galatians, chapter 2, verse 9. And this James was gifted with a personal vision of Jesus after the resurrection. Now in Acts chapter 15, we can read about a controversy concerning the Jewish tradition of circumcision and new Gentile or non-Jewish converts. As the leader of the Jerusalem church, it was this James who made the final authoritative decision that we are saved only through the grace of Jesus Christ and not through the law of Moses. Agreeing with apostles Peter and Paul, James the Less was saying that Christians from pagan backgrounds were not bound by Jewish traditions such as circumcision, and that they too could consider themselves being saved. Now, James the Less believed that yours must be a living faith with good works, not merely a vocal faith. In the Epistle of James, he tells Christians to demonstrate their living faith by helping each other in their need, means doing good works. He wrote, "Just as the body without the spirit is dead, so too faith without works is dead." In the book of Acts, chapter 12, a certain James, brother of John, was arrested and executed with other Christians by King Herod Agrippa during his persecution of the early church in Jerusalem from 41 to 44 AD. However, we don't know for sure if this James was the son of Zebedee or the son of Alphaeus, and whether James the Less had a brother named John. But we do know this, that James the Less did live as the bishop of the Jerusalem church until his death in 62 or 63 AD. And how we know this is from records by the Jewish historian Flavian Josephus and the early Christian chronicler Hegesippus. Try saying that one. According to Hegesippus, a newly appointed Sadducee high priest named Ananus used his power against the early church. He condemned a certain James, brother of Jesus, to death without a proper trial. Now this James was taken to the summit of the temple and he was thrown off. And as he laid on the ground, he was stoned and he was beaten with what was called a fuller's club. But that wasn't the end of it. But knowing how I am, I'm just going to leave you to read up on what they did to finish this James off. Pretty gruesome. So there you have it, another puzzler to work on this week concerning a disciple apostle. Try to dig a little deeper into the life of James the Less and see if you can figure out exactly who he was. Was he the son of Zebediah, or was he really the son of Alphaeus? I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Hey YouTubers, thanks for watching this entire video. If this is your first time here or if you're a returning viewer, I hope you enjoyed this discussion. Remember, this channel provides worship and discussion videos that you can watch anytime and any place. Nothing too heavy or intense, just simple worship and discussion videos tailored for you. And if you like this discussion, please give it a little hallelujah click down there on those like and subscribe buttons below. I would appreciate it. Oh, and don't forget to tap on the notification bell so you can know when more discussion videos are posted. And always remember that your attitude is the attitude that can change your world and the world around you. So try to have a good attitude, okay? Thanks again for watching, and go have a blessed day. And hopefully I'll see you again soon on this channel. Bye!